So day one in Angola, we went to a malnutrition clinic in Benguela, and it was an extraordinary day for all the wrong reasons, because 3 children died there yesterday. The first, when we arrived, we were literally standing just inside the gates, hadn't even gotten any camera gear or anything out, and a woman came screaming, running by us, carrying a child. And she carried her into the clinic where they have the children, and within minutes the child died. And we were a little stunned, you know, trying to comfort her a little bit. We don't speak the same language. We ended up taking the child in one of our trucks and driving her back to her village, because her village was like an hour or 2, something like that away, long way away, especially for here, where they don't have mass transit. Most of them, you know, they don't have cars. Most of them don't even have a scooter or bike or anything like that. And that kind of illustrates the problem here, because with a clinic, we have a few clinics which are great, but there are so many people that don't live near them. And I was talking to one of the workers here, and he said, in order to call a taxi, typically someone in the village will have a cell phone or something. They have ways to call a taxi to come get them. But you know, when you're driving an hour, 2 hours, 3, or maybe like we did today, 4 hours, that's very expensive to come get you and to take you into a clinic. These people don't have much, so they're literally looking at selling something, and they don't have much to sell to begin with. They have family at home that still needs food and things like that. So I mean, it's a significant sacrifice just to get from a rural area to the clinic, and that's why a lot of the mothers who care for their children, just like everyone does, would do everything they could before they had to go to the clinic. With a malnourished child, that can go from bad to worse to death very quickly. In fact, we saw that in another child that died at the clinic yesterday, because when we arrived in the morning, we were taking pictures of the different children. I noticed this one girl. She seemed to be getting the help that she needed. She had been at the clinic for a few days at least, and so she was getting some nourishment. When we rolled back her sleeves, we saw that she had some really severe signs of malnourishment, literally skin flaking off into the bed, a pretty alarming sign. Of course, her hair was thin and reddened, and patchy skin in places. But she was at the clinic. A few hours later, she was listless. Her eyes did not look good at all. They put her on an IV to try to get her back up, because we couldn't even feed her at this point. We prayed for her. She didn't make it. It's real hard to watch that. It's real hard to watch it over and over and over in the same day. The other lady who lost her child came running into the clinic. She had just arrived from far away, and she set her baby down, and that little girl was already dead. If ever you needed to see how urgent the situation is here, how important the clinics are, but yet maybe even more important is the mission feeding in the field. Boy, that was it. Boy, it just drove home the fact that we've got to get nourishment to these remote areas on a regular basis. Otherwise, children literally die. We saw it. That's day one.